Hey guys, welcome to Get Informed channel where we talk about anything and everything. So today we're going to talk about something I'm sure a lot of people are battling with. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel stressed or anxious during difficult times? I'm going to be sharing with you 10 symptoms of depression you should see a doctor for. But first of all, what is depression? Depression is more than feeling unhappy or fed up for a few days. Most people go through periods of feeling down, but when you're depressed, you feel persistently sad for weeks or months rather than just a few days. Some people think depression is trivial and not a genuine health condition. They are wrong. It is a real illness with real symptoms. Depression is not a sign of weakness or something you can snap out of by pulling yourself together. The good news is that identifying signs of it with the right treatment and support, most people with depression can make a full recovery. Here are the 10 signs of depression you should look out for. One of the most common signs of depression is a change in how much you eat. For some people with depression, this means a loss of appetite, while for others, the amount you eat may increase. If your brain is preoccupied with negative thoughts, you may forget to eat or lose interest in cooking or preparing meals, says Yvonne Thomas, PhD, Los Angeles-based psychologist specializing in depression and self-esteem. While loss of appetite is a common depression symptom, feelings of sadness or worthlessness can make some people overeat. This results in emotional eating, a common event in which the need to eat is not associated with physical hunger. While loss of a sudden change in weight, either gaining or losing, can be a warning sign of depression, especially in someone who has other symptoms of depression or a history of depression. Secondly, feelings of sadness, loneliness, or grief when you go through a difficult life experience is part of being human, and most of the time, you can continue to function. You know that in time you will bounce back, and you do. But what if you don't bounce back? What if your feelings of sadness linger, are excessive, or interfere with your work, sleep, or recreation? What if you are feeling fatigue or worthless, or experiencing weight changes along with your sadness? It's time to pay attention. It's the hallmark sign of clinical depression, and an estimated 7% of adults will experience it. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, you may be experiencing major depression. Even with these signs in place, it's tough for a depressed person to know if he or she really has the illness. Almost all the symptoms of depression on their own are experienced by everyone at one time or another. On to the third one, having less sleep or more. Excessive or insufficient sleep does not only affect your physical health, it has a big impact on your mental health as well. When you don't get the 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep you need, it can heavily influence your outlook on life, as well as your energy level, motivation, and emotions. Some people with depression find themselves snoozing under the covers more. The disengagement and dip in energy make depressed people escape from their sadness. Others with depression experience restless or interrupted sleep or even insomnia. They are too wired by obsessive thoughts or reflections to wind down and score the 7 to 8 hours per night most adults need. The thing is, not only can sleep changes be a tip-off to the disease, but they can also make it worse. When you're not getting the proper amount of sleep, your body's internal clock gets out of sync, and you're even more tired and unfocused and less able to cope. If you find yourself sleeping too little or too much on a regular basis, it's important to bring this up with your doctor so the two of you can look at your total physical and mental health picture and decide if further tests or a treatment plan is necessary. The fourth sign you should look out for is agitation. People who experience this type of depression usually don't feel lethargic or slowed down. Depression can show up as heightened irritability. It's known as mixed mania or mixed features, and it can be seen in people with bipolar disorder. Some people with major depressive disorder will experience agitation. but the agitation is more severe and persistent in those with agitated depression. This condition can lead to conflicting feelings of intense restlessness or depression. People may also experience feelings of agitation or irritability, along with sadness or emptiness. People with agitated depression may be more likely to be in danger of self-injury and suicidal thoughts and attempts. They usually don't feel good or like their usual self, and they might put themselves more on the edge. The fifth sign is lack of concentration. The loss of memory and an inability to focus may not seem like obvious symptoms of depression, but they are more connected than most people realize. Research has suggested that processing speed, the ability to take in information quickly and efficiently, is impaired in individuals who are depressed. Many areas of the brain are involved with the creation and retrieval of memories. Differences in any of these areas, including those that create depression symptoms, can affect how you process memories and influence your ability to concentrate. Being preoccupied with thoughts of sadness and emptiness can plunge you into a head fog that affects your job, memory, and decision-making skills. That's your brain on depression. Doing things that you enjoy is good for your emotional well-being. The absence of this is the sixth sign of depression. There are times when simple activities like watching sports with a friend, having a soak in the bath, or meeting up with friends for coffee no longer make you happy. Not taking part in things you once enjoyed because they no longer give you pleasure is a telltale sign of depression. You tend to enjoy things that make you feel worse afterwards, such as too much alcohol or eating junk food. Depression also makes you lose interest in activities and hobbies that once gave you joy, and that makes you isolate yourself. It sets up that vicious cycle and robs you of your ability to derive pleasure from experiences. So you stop doing the very things that could brighten your mood. If you're constantly putting yourself down or you feel worthless, this could be the seventh sign of depression. Repetitive thoughts along the lines of "I'm a loser," "a failure," "inferior or crazy," "not good enough," or "I don't matter" are dangerous because they can fuel self-harming behavior. With the way our brains are wired, negative experiences and thought patterns are much more pervasive than positive ones because we tend to think them more frequently. When you think this way, you tend to find ways to verify the negativity, and that in turn makes you more depressed and more at risk. We also tend to compare ourselves to others, which can make it incredibly difficult to see our own achievements when someone else is ahead of where we are in life. It's much easier to criticize ourselves than it is to notice and appreciate the things we do well, because the negatives can and tend to draw more attention. From there, it's easy to beat yourself up over what you did wrong than to take a moment to reflect and think about what you didn't do badly. The eighth sign of depression is being occupied with suicidal thoughts. Being preoccupied by persistent thoughts about ending your life or feeling that people would be better off without you, to thinking about methods of suicide or making clear plans to take your own life are all strong indicators that it's time to reach out for professional help. You might feel unable to cope with the enduring difficult feelings you are experiencing. You may feel like you want to die, or more like you cannot go on living the life you have. These feelings may build over time or might fluctuate from moment to moment, and it's common to not understand why you are feeling this way. Because these thoughts pose such a direct threat to your life, it's important to seek help if you experience them daily or almost every day for 2 weeks, even if you don't recognize any other symptoms of depression in yourself. The ninth sign is lots of panic and anxiety. Overwhelming feelings of fear are usually thought to signify anxiety, and while that's often true, they can also be a clue to depression. Anxious feelings often coincide with depression, and some depressed people have panic attacks, says Dr. Payne. Grief, loss of a job, divorce, illness, and other stressors can lead to feelings of sadness, worry, frustration, and loneliness, These are normal reactions to difficult life situations. Some people experience these feelings daily without a known stressor. This can interfere with the ability to carry out everyday activities, such as getting to work on time, proper self-care, or caring for children. In this case, people might be suffering from depression, anxiety, or a combination of the two. The 10th sign of depression is when your energy levels hit the wall. Depression can cause devastating fatigue and make the simplest activities, such as getting out of bed, too difficult to manage. People with depression are more likely to experience fatigue, and people with chronic fatigue are more likely to become depressed, creating a cycle that can be hard to break. You feel overwhelmed by day-to-day life. Even getting out of bed and taking a shower becomes exhausting. When the fatigue impairs your life, it's time to seek help. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, kindly subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on our next video.